Did you know Australia is facing a structural housing shortage? Immigration has far outpaced our ability to build new homes and the required infrastructure that comes with it. Since the mid 2000s, when population growth surged, construction just never caught up. The result, a shortfall of around 200 to 300,000 dwellings, with the biggest pressure being on the rental market. And the very people the government rhetoric is just unable to assist. Medium rents have risen by more than 10,400 in the past 5 years alone, according to Cotality research data, making it harder for Australians to save for a deposit or even qualify for a loan, biting into their pockets. And as vacancy rates continue to drop lower, competition for rentals increase, and so do rental yields increase on the back of tight supply and increasing demand. The government's own advisory projections show the crisis will worsen, with the shortfall increasing by another around 79,000 homes in just 5 years, even under conservative immigration forecasts, and not even actual immigration numbers. This will be further exacerbated on the actual numbers, especially if they continue unabated as per Australian government plans to continue to grow our already underpopulation growth numbers. The outcome is blatantly clear. We will have rising prices, rising rents, and higher yields for investors. And of course, fewer Australians will be able to enter the property market, further putting pressure on rental supply. What we are witnessing is both a national housing crisis and at the same time an incredible opportunity for you, the investor. The media is screaming housing crisis. The bold truth is there are fewer housing approvals, so the media is correct, which will result in a housing shortage, especially on the back of continued immigration and migration numbers. The implication is that the cost of housing is rising in value and at record rates. Thus, the real issue is culminating in affordability. The problem is not only an impending lack of supply of homes to own or rent, it's also that young Australians simply cannot catch up because property price continues to increase, yet wages are rising too slowly. So deposits are growing out of the reach of buyers who just cannot borrow enough money or have a large enough deposit to purchase where they want to live. Hey, for first-time buyers, it's painful. Yet, for property owners and investors, wow, this affordability crisis is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, proving the economic principle of supply and demand, exacerbated by lower interest rates and population growth. Homeowners see the equity soaring. Banks thus continue to profit from bigger loans. And investors in the market are enjoying capital growth and surging rental yields. Investors and homeowners have improved their opportunities to use this equity intelligently and invest in property so that they can take control of their own financial destiny and cement a healthier retirement plan for themselves, their families, whilst creating generational wealth for the new generations to come. If property prices keep rising faster than wages, aspiring buyers will never close that gap. That's why so many are tragically being permanently locked out. It is those astute property owners who want their children to get into the market who started to use this equity in their properties as a deposit. And then they're investing in a property in which their children can benefit from one day. These investments have the capabilities to be sold, or the equity used for their children to buy where they want to live one day in the future, while sadly, those waiting to see what happened continue to miss out. They miss out on establishing an asset to give their own children a leg up into the property market or even to create a better financial future for themselves. Australia's population is booming, yet housing approvals and new builds are at decade lows. land prices continue to rise, and to build a new dwelling has and will continue to become more expensive. This is creating an imbalance, and this imbalance is fueling competition for every rental and property, culminating in pressure on supply, forcing rental yields even higher, because more people chasing that same rental only results in higher rents. And higher rents are keeping the want-to-be buyers out of the market, eating into their cash flow, and thus their affordability to buy where they want to live. This is a catch-22 position, sadly, and is the housing crisis in Australia today and going forward. As just stated, and to reiterate, national vacancy rates are at near zero. And in some suburbs, rents have jumped 15, 20, 30% in the last year. Many investors are continuing to exit the market for various reasons, which is further widening the gap between supply and demand for rental accommodation. Many continue to hesitate, hoping that the market will calm down. But hey, history shows the real risk isn't buying now, it's missing out entirely. It's a genuine tragedy why a vast majority of people just like you who have the affordability but just cannot commit to their own goals and invest in a property. This is a phenomenon which we just cannot understand, but we continue to see oh so often, no matter how sound the investment potential may be. Government first home buyer schemes do sound hopeful, right? But in reality, they are pushing more buyers into an already undersupplied market, and the result is more demand and even less supply. Continued rising property prices, and this will result into effect that the affordability gap will widen even further, making home ownership that much harder, whilst continue to push up rental yields, which is an improvement for property investors once again, which proves that now continues to be a sound time for you, the investor, to get into the investment property market. You would agree. Are you having affordability issues of where you want to live to buy something that you want to live in? If yes, have you thought about rent vesting? This is where, when you cannot buy where you want to live, or you've intelligently decided not to squeeze the wrong property into a budget. We work with many rent investors who rent where they want to live, whilst they're asking us where, what, and how to invest in. And then they're following through by investing, getting in the market today, effectively using the banks, tenants, and the taxman to build equity and a property investment portfolio so that one day they have choice. They can buy where they want to live, what they want to live in, and use this equity or sell what they need to from their portfolio to buy the home that they want to live in. This is an innovative strategy to secure their own future. And when done correctly, using investment strategies such as property network, it can prove to be an incredible tool and decision for you. You've heard history does repeat itself, yeah? Well, remember the early 2000s. Prices have doubled. What about post-GFC? Investors did clean up. And post-COVID? Another property boom. Each time those who acted and acted early, they did win big. Think back. If you invested back then, where could your own investment had been had you chosen to commit to yourself? Today presents as another opportunity to cement your own financial future. But are you going to continue to watch and wait? Or will you take the required action and get into the market today and then enjoy what industry expertise are identifying as a new boom period coming to the Australian property market? Some headlines are starting to spread fear again, but behind the noise, smart investors are seizing opportunities. So, will you let fear hold you back? At Property Network, we encourage, educate, and we work alongside you so that you can remove emotion from your decision making. Because when we understand your purpose for your investment, your reasons why you're investing, what your investment budget is, and more about you and your strategy, we will help you source a selection of what we refer to as investment grade properties to match your requirements and provide you with sufficient information so that you can go and do your own due diligence as to why these properties do match, so that you can come to an informed investment decision. We know we will save you time, and we know by following this process, you will make more money for yourselves than if you had to go it alone. Right now, demand is unstoppable, supply is lagging, and rents are continuing to climb whilst migration continues to surge. All signs are pointing to an investor's market for you to grab onto, and this window of opportunity will not be open forever. Why guarantee yourself to pay more for the same thing in the future whilst you're missing out on capital growth, rental income, and tax deductions? Every property market cycle demonstrates that what seems expensive today will appear as a bargain tomorrow. Research shows us that if you examine any period in the market, property prices and rents are consistently higher after 10 years than they were before. And when you consider those missed opportunities of the rent you didn't collect, the capital growth you didn't achieve, and the income tax you paid instead of investing, our calculations reveal significant lost financial opportunity costs. Yet those who invested in high quality investment grade properties have enhanced their financial positions. And those who then reinvested have further compounded their wealth, creating this generational prosperity. Why let hesitation cost you the same opportunity? For first home buyers, it is a crisis in housing. It's a heartbreak unless you're going to meet the new first home buyer scheme requirements. And you can afford to borrow what you need to borrow to get into the market. Yet for owners in the market, increasing equity in your property is incredible and real. And whilst for investors, this is unprecedented, the affordability and lack of supply is your wealth building opportunity. But what will you do with this opportunity, though? Your choice is simple. You either take action today or you watch others build wealth whilst you're waiting on the sidelines. I've been in the property investment industry as a professional for more than 19 years now, helping everyday Australians and experienced investors alike secure high-performing properties to build long-term wealth for them and their families. And over that time, I've seen markets correct and rise. But one thing has never changed. Successful investing comes from being informed, having the correct investment strategy, and surrounding yourself with a strong network of trusted experts who have your own goals and purpose for your investment first and foremost in mind. That's exactly what property network delivers. We go beyond simply finding your property. We connect investors with carefully researched investment grade opportunities that align with your goals, your budget, and your long-term purpose for your investment. Backed by industry experience, trusted contacts, and continuous market research, we will guide you with clarity and confidence every step of the way, helping you save time so that you can make more money for yourself. Our reputation is built on trust, transparency, and results. Many of our clients will return for the second, third, and fourth property. And the greatest compliment that we receive is when they refer us to family and friends who want the same professional experience and financial outcomes. So if you're an investor looking for clarity, strategy, and to save time, with access to opportunities that have stood the test of time, I'd love to demonstrate how Property Network can help you grow and secure wealth for yourself and generation wealth for the future.